From the very beginning, racing wasn't just about speed for him, it was about ritual. Every time he stepped into a car, he carried a single playing card in his pocket. It seemed like a meaningless habit, but strangely, it always brought him luck on the track. But on the starting grid of the Las Vegas Grand Prix, as his fingers brushed against the card, a wave of unease rushed through him. Ahead, 5 red lights pierced the air, glowing brighter with each second. The moment they vanished, his foot slammed on the accelerator. Engines roared and the race exploded into chaos. He weaved through traffic like a man possessed, every move wild, every turn reckless, as if he had nothing left to lose. From the pit wall, his team's frantic voices called out on the radio, but the thunder of engines drowned them all out. His name was Sonny, and tonight he was driving with fury. The team manager, Ruben, watched closely, realizing Sonny wasn't just racing, he was venting anger. Within minutes, Sonny clawed his way to second place, yet the leader ahead remained just out of reach. Then came the shock. Sonny suddenly switched the car into qualifying mode, a dangerous setting meant only for single-lap battles, never for a full race. The technical director, Kate, froze. Something wasn't right. The car hit 340 kilometers an hour on the straight. Others braked into the corner, but Sonny went full throttle, desperate to overtake. His car slid dangerously, tires screaming as he clipped the rival's rear wing. And then, it happened. The rear tires lost grip. In an instant, his car spun out of control, lifting into the air. Metal slammed against the safety fence, sparks flew, and the sound of crushing steel ripped through the track. The wreckage scattered across the asphalt like broken toys. Kate ripped off her headset and ran, praying he was still alive. And from that moment, the story takes us back, months before that crash. Inside a rundown van, Sonny woke to the sound of knocking. He stumbled up, poured ice into a basin, and dunked his face to clear his head. Stretching his tired limbs, he pulled on his racing suit, never forgetting to slip a playing card into his pocket. This time, the stage was the legendary Daytona 24-hour endurance race. The roar of engines filled the night sky as Sonny's Porsche slipped down to 7th place. With no hesitation, he strapped on his helmet, jumped into the cockpit, and roared onto the track. The long night had begun. 14 teams, one dream, and Sonny, the driver once called the most promising talent in racing. He sliced through traffic, overtaking cars before his rivals even realized what was happening. Sparks burst from exhaust pipes as he hunted down position after position. Each corner, each maneuver pushed him higher up the ranks. From the pit wall, engineers cheered, their hopes rising. At this pace, victory was within reach. The commentators joked, "Does his car even have brakes?" Because while every other driver slowed at corners, Sonny attacked them at full speed. His biggest rival, a BMW, refused to yield. Sonny didn't hesitate. He bumped the car, forcing his way alongside. The two machines screamed down the banked curve, sparks flying as fireworks lit the night sky above. It was no longer a race, it was a duel. Finally, a barrier loomed ahead. Sonny braked hard. His rival skidded into the grass, losing control. Dust clouded the track as Sonny slipped by unscathed. The pit wall erupted in celebration, and when dawn broke over the circuit, Sonny's stint was over. His driving had carried the team to victory. But Sonny himself? He refused the spotlight. When the team manager handed him the trophy, Sonny turned away. To him, trophies were a curse. He raced not for glory, but for the pure love of driving. Later, at a laundromat, Sonny traced his finger over a map, planning his next race, the brutal Baja Rally. Just then, the door swung open. It was his old teammate, Ruben. The two embraced, memories flooding back. Ruben had news. He now owned an F1 team. But the truth was grim. The team hadn't scored a single point all season, and if the next 9 races didn't improve, the board would sell the team. Worse, Ruben was already drowning in $350 million of debt. Losing the team would mean losing everything. He looked Sonny in the eye and begged him to return to Formula One. Sonny laughed it off. He hadn't raced in F1 for 30 years, not since the accident that ended his career. But Ruben was desperate. Before leaving, he handed Sonny a first-class ticket to London. At dinner that night, Sonny chatted with a waitress. When she asked, if not for money, then what do you race for? Sonny had no answer. But deep down, the question struck something inside him. Meanwhile, in London, the Silverstone circuit roared to life. Ruben's only driver, Joshua, was testing the car. Engineers tracked every data point on their screens, searching for improvements. Suddenly, disaster struck. The car's left wheel malfunctioned, and the lap times froze. Kate ordered the car back to the pits, but when she asked Joshua for details about the failure, his answers were vague, unhelpful, and frustrating. The cracks in the team were already showing. Kate, the team's technical director, felt utterly powerless. Watching the team manager laughing and playing with his child inside a race car, she realized what no one wanted to admit. This team had already lost all hope of turning things around. Just then, Joshua's agent approached. She had heard the rumors that Ruben was preparing to sell the team, and she urged Joshua to think ahead. "Use your leverage while you still have it," she whispered. "Find yourself a new home before it's too late." But her words faded as everyone's eyes shifted to the paddock entrance. Sonny was here. Against all odds, he had chosen to stand with his old friend and face the ghosts of his past. The shockwave was instant. When it was announced that Sonny would officially join as the team's second driver, the garage erupted in disbelief. Joshua smirked. "When was the last time you even won a race?" he sneered. Sonny didn't flinch. "Last Sunday, at Daytona," he answered calmly. The room burst into laughter. To them, this was a washed-up has-been, a relic of the past. Even the team manager bluntly refused to let him test the car. But Ruben's voice cut through the noise. "It's not us putting pressure on Sonny. It's Sonny putting pressure on us." Instantly, the garage fell silent. Joshua wasn't done mocking him, but Sonny raised his head, eyes sharp. He told Kate to pull up Joshua's lap times. "If I'm slower by even 1 second," he said, "I'll walk away right now." Moments later, Sonny pulled on his old battered helmet. For the first time in 30 years, he slid into an F1 cockpit. The mix of nostalgia and fear rushed over him as the steering wheel's lights blinked. His fingers trembled slightly, but the fire in his eyes was undeniable. The car rolled out of the pit lane. The engine roared, and with a heavy foot on the throttle, Sonny launched down the track like an arrow released from its bow. The team held their breath, convinced he would fail. At first, nerves got the better of him. He pushed too hard into corners, spinning out in a cloud of tire smoke. Regaining control, he gritted his teeth and went again. But mistakes piled up. Braking too late, missing the apex, lap times sinking to the bottom of the charts. He forced himself to breathe, replaying every turn in his mind. He studied the track, searching for the perfect line. But with only one final attempt left, the pressure was crushing. Everyone in the garage went silent, eyes fixed on the screens. This time, he hit his marks. Smooth braking, sharp exit, hugging the edge of the corner. But disaster struck again. His rear tire clipped the inside line, sending the car sliding toward the barriers. The crash was violent, metal scraping with a deafening screech. But Sonny had slowed just enough to walk away unharmed. Climbing out of the mangled cockpit, he coolly explained the car's flaws to Kate. When she announced he had passed the test, by 5,000ths of a second, the garage went silent. Joshua's smirk faded, replaced by a flicker of doubt. For the first time, he feared this old legend might actually beat him. Ruben proudly showed Sonny around the team's headquarters. The media swarmed in, fascinated by the fallen star making a shocking comeback. Once hailed as the most gifted driver on the F1 grid, Sonny had lost everything 30 years ago: his career, his future, his dignity, in a crash that came just seconds before victory. Since then, he had spiraled into gambling and debt, forgotten by the sport he once dominated. Now, this broken man was back on the grid. Could he really save Apex Grand Prix from collapse? On the wall of the headquarters, a photo of Sonny and Joshua hung side by side. Joshua stared at it, his face tightening. Beneath his calm exterior, frustration boiled. At the press conference, reporters fired harsh questions. But Sonny didn't flinch. He admitted his failures, his controversies, his ruined past. None of it mattered to him anymore. "Noise," he said. "That's all it is. What matters is the race." That night, unable to sleep, Sonny pushed himself harder. He trained his body, forcing back the years. He buried himself in books, cramming knowledge he had missed during his decades away. Before dawn, he was already on the track, sweat dripping, chasing the rhythm of his youth. Joshua's mother insisted he apologize for mocking Sonny. Reluctantly, he went to Sonny's room and muttered a stiff, half-hearted, "Sorry." Sonny simply waved it off. He knew the truth. Joshua wasn't sorry. He was scared. Soon the stage was set. the 77th British Grand Prix. The legendary Silverstone circuit shimmered under the sun. 11 teams, 22 drivers, one chance at glory. Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, they filled the front rows. The anthem ended, jets roared overhead, smoke trails painting the sky as the crowd erupted in cheers. In the paddock, Rubin pushed Sonny toward investors, forcing him to smile and shake hands. Even Hamilton and Verstappen were readying their machines. Sonny strapped into his car. The cold carbon fiber seat gripped his body, the seatbelt locked into place, and the thunder of the crowd drowned everything else. As the red lights lit up, Sonny froze. When they went out, every car launched off the line, but Sonny's car sat motionless. Shock rippled through the grandstands. Had his engine failed? Inside the cockpit, Sonny calmly keyed the radio. "How do I start this thing?" he asked. The engineer gave instructions. The engine roared to life, and finally Sonny rolled forward. By now, the others had nearly completed their first lap. But there was a method to his madness. He had deliberately delayed his start, conserving his tires and keeping his machine fresh. As the 5 lights went dark and the pack surged ahead, Sonny began carving through the grid. With precise pre-race preparation, he tore past 7 cars in just seconds. Ahead, Sergio Perez tightened his line, desperate to block him. The real battle was about to begin. Sonny locked his eyes on the car ahead, clinging tightly to its rear, waiting for the perfect opening. But the turbulent air kicked up by the car in front made his own machine unstable, shaking violently every time he tried to close in. Several attempts to overtake were shut down, and the gap only widened. That's when his engineer radioed in. "Activate DRS." With the rear wing adjusting, drag instantly dropped. Sonny seized the moment, steering hard and blasting past from the outside. The overtake was clean, smooth, and fierce. The team's garage erupted in cheers. But the joy didn't last. His car lacked grip, and Red Bull's Perez wasn't backing down. With his tires fully warmed, Perez launched a counterattack in the very next corner, diving into the inside line like a flash of orange lightning, taking the position right back. By lap 20, the race was pure chaos. Verstappen was leading, Joshua pushing hard right behind, refusing to let go. The roar of engines filled the track as Joshua demanded a pit stop to change his soft tires. But disaster struck. One of the pneumatic guns jammed. In the confusion, the crew left the broken tool under the car, losing precious time. The stop dragged to 7 full seconds, an eternity in Formula One. Joshua's frustration was obvious as his rivals widened the gap. Sonny, meanwhile, was climbing steadily when disaster hit again. A loud pop echoed from the rear. His tire had blown. Forced to pit, his stop went from bad to worse. A jack malfunctioned, tools scattered, and by the time he got back on track, 9 seconds were lost. And when he rejoined, fate twisted the knife deeper. He came out directly in front of Joshua. Their long, simmering rivalry exploded instantly. Neither man was willing to give an inch. Lap after lap, their duel consumed the track, even as the team radio begged Sonny to yield. He didn't budge. Joshua's patience finally snapped. He opened DRS, surged alongside Sonny, the two machines screaming down the straight, wheel to wheel, sparks flying. The crowd was on its feet. Then, contact. Metal scraped, tires locked, and in an instant, both cars shot off the track like broken kites, vanishing into a cloud of smoke and dust. Back in the paddock, Joshua stormed in, furious, throwing his rage at anyone in sight. When Sonny entered, Joshua turned on him instantly. But instead of fighting back, Sonny calmly reassured the pit crew, telling them mistakes were never just one person's fault. Joshua, however, lost control, charging at Sonny with clenched fists until the manager pulled him back. The tension was electric. The manager scolded Sonny, demanding he follow orders. Sonny ignored him, instead thanking the mechanics for their effort before walking away. Joshua followed, ready to explode again, but reporters burst into the room. Instantly, Joshua's expression flipped from anger to charm, smiling for the cameras as if nothing had happened. Sonny saw it all, the mask, the performance. His eyes went cold as he left with just a sharp, quiet warning. Later that night, Lubin confronted Sonny, angry that his impulsiveness had cost them precious points. Sonny accepted the criticism, but then told him the hard truth. With these cars, we'll never win. Lubin knew it, but upgrading wasn't an option. The team's budget was already stretched thin. So Sonny went to Kate, the team's technical director, who was buried in work. He pitched a bold idea, a redesign that could shave off a crucial tenth of a second per lap. Kate brushed him off, convinced Sonny was just a washed-up cowboy stuck in the past, too old to understand modern aerodynamics. But Sonny insisted. Finally, Kate said if Sonny could just finish his next race, maybe, just maybe, he'd consider the idea. Meanwhile, Joshua couldn't let Sonny's words go. They echoed in his mind, not as doubt, but as fuel. He doubled down on his training, spending every hour in the simulator, determined not to lose to this aging rival. Every time he glanced out the window, he saw Sonny running laps on foot, his silhouette stretching into the mist. That image alone hardened Joshua's resolve. He wouldn't be beaten. Sonny, meanwhile, prepared in silence, analyzing race footage frame by frame, studying every driver's braking points and cornering angles. Joshua stumbled across an old documentary on Sonny, showing his rise, his glory, and his tragic fall. For the first time, Joshua felt something unfamiliar: empathy. Then came the Hungarian Grand Prix. The sun lit up the track as the drivers lined up. Joshua's eyes on Sonny carried less hostility now, though the fire still burned. In the strategy meeting, Kate proposed a safe, conservative approach, but Sonny pushed for the opposite. Run fast, take risks. When the 5 lights went out, the second race of Sonny's comeback began. Hamilton stormed ahead, Verstappen right on his tail, while Zhou Guanyu, Sonny, and Joshua plunged into a fierce 3-way battle. Their cars raced side by side, inches apart, sparks flying. Through the first corner, chaos erupted. 3 cars spun out. Sonny felt something wrong. His right tire had blown. Furious, he smashed the steering wheel, forced to pit again. He demanded soft tires, but in the blazing heat, they wouldn't last 10 laps. The manager overruled him, ordering hard tires instead. This time, the pit stop was clean. But when the car was ready, Sonny didn't move. He sat there motionless. The crew stared in shock. Was it another failure? He was deliberately waiting. Every second ticked away, tension rising, until finally the manager screamed at him. Sonny coolly explained, "If we run like everyone else, we've already lost." Sonny, now back on track with fresh, soft tires, immediately radios his pit wall asking about Joshua's position. When he hears Joshua is still stuck in 14th place, Sonny knows it's time to set his plan in motion. He slams the accelerator, going wheel to wheel with Kevin Magnussen. But Magnussen defends aggressively, clipping Sonny's front wing in the process. The violent impact sends his car swerving out of control. Yet Sonny stays calm. With steady hands, he slowly straightens his car and continues racing, as if he had anticipated the crash all along. The shattered debris forces the safety car onto the track, slowing the entire grid. Suddenly, Sonny's risky maneuver makes sense. He had deliberately created the opportunity for Joshua to close in. While Joshua climbs to 12th, he doesn't fully grasp Sonny's true intention. To him, this looks like sabotage. Sonny pits for a new front wing and roars back onto the track, only to repeat his aggressive blocking. This time against Bottas. Race control quickly issues a warning. If he doesn't move, he'll face a 15-second penalty. But Sonny ignores it, holding the racing line with iron resolve. The investors watching from the stands grow uneasy. To them, this man looks reckless, a loose cannon threatening the team's reputation. The crowd chants furiously, demanding Sonny let Bottas through. But Sonny stays locked in, waiting, biding his time. Finally, Bottas loses patience, guns the engine, and tries to overtake. At that very moment, Sonny jerks the steering wheel, sending his freshly fitted wing flying off again. The debris triggers yet another safety car. Kate seizes the opportunity, ordering Joshua to push with everything he's got. As rival teams scramble for pit stops, Joshua stays out, climbing higher in the standings. Soon, he finds himself just 1 step away from the points. Sonny radios the pit wall. "Tell Joshua to protect those tires. He needs to hold them until the end." The laps tick down. Joshua pushes into 4th place, opening a massive gap from the pack behind. But the cost is brutal. His tires are destroyed. He begs the pit wall to let him pit, but Kate hesitates. He knows fresh tires would slow him down initially. And then he spots Sonny dueling fiercely with a Williams, dust exploding across the track. Suddenly, Sonny loses control. His car smashes into the barriers, forcing the safety car out again. Kate's eyes light up. This is the opening they've been waiting for. The team orders Joshua in, and the pit crew performs flawlessly, 2 seconds flat. Joshua rejoins just ahead of 11th place, securing a vital position inside the top 10. The garage erupts in celebration, but Sonny isn't satisfied. Over the radio, his voice cuts sharp and clear. "Tell Joshua, we're not here for points. We're here to win." When the race ends, the team swarms Joshua, celebrating his first championship points. But Sonny? He walks straight past the crowd, confronting Kate. "Time to keep your promise." For the first time, Kate looks at him not as a reckless gambler, but as a hardened cowboy who refuses to quit. In the post-race interviews, a reporter tries to corner Sonny with tough questions, but instead of backing down, Sonny turns it into a wager, a challenge. The same investors who once doubted him now watch in silence, their skepticism slowly fading. Back at the training center, Sonny buries himself in the simulator, analyzing every corner, every braking point, every ounce of car feedback. He's relentless. The glow of the simulator reflects off his face like fire. Joshua notices and quietly begins training under the same parameters, chasing Sonny's intensity. Meanwhile, Kate works late into the night. When Sonny approaches, Kate reveals he's found a solution to counter dirty air. Their car, he says, will now cut through turbulence at 322 kilometers per hour in Zandvoort's Tarzan corner. Sonny nods, then later makes a call to Ruben. For the first time, he admits. He wants to truly understand Joshua. Italy arrives. Morning mist rolls over Monza. Sonny jogs the circuit with his engineers, sharing secrets about the car. In pre-race press conferences, rival team bosses from Ferrari and McLaren dismiss Sonny's reckless tactics. Meanwhile, Ferrari fans flood the grandstands, waving red flags like a sea of fire. Charles Leclerc soaks up the adoration, signing autographs as chants of "Ferrari" echo across the circuit. But Sonny's daring performances have earned him his own following. Fans now roar his name, fists pumping in the air. At the team meeting, all eyes turn to Sonny. With calm determination, he lays out his strategy. Joshua has been underestimated for too long. His driving precision is our secret weapon. This time, we're not just surviving, we're winning. Joshua listens, a smirk tugging at his lips. The old cowboy he once dismissed now sounds like a true leader. And then, the engines roar. The Italian Grand Prix is underway. By lap 20, Verstappen leads with a growing gap. Joshua holds 10th. Behind him, Sonny's car becomes an unbreakable wall, blocking every rival. Then the broadcast interrupts with breaking news. Rain is coming. One shower could flip the entire race upside down. Sonny radios in, "I'm pitting for tires." Other teams scramble to react, calling their drivers in. But just as Sonny approaches pit entry, as the rain threatened to change everything, Sonny made a shocking move. Just as everyone expected him to pit, he suddenly swerved away from the entry and kept flying down the track. This unexpected maneuver threw the entire grid off balance, giving Sonny a golden opportunity to widen the gap. But then, disaster struck. His rear tire exploded with a deafening bang, scattering debris all over the circuit. A virtual safety car was immediately deployed, forcing every car to slow down. For Joshua, however, this became the perfect chance to climb the leaderboard. While others dived into the pits, he stayed out, seizing valuable track position. Meanwhile, Sonny rejoined the race, and once again, he played the role of disruptor. He placed his car perfectly to block Verstappen, preventing the champion from making any decisive move. Every small adjustment on Sonny's steering wheel closed off Verstappen's overtaking lines, frustrating him lap after lap. Behind them, Joshua kept pushing, and with Sonny acting as the shield, Joshua rose to 4th, just one step away from the podium. But then, nature took control. At lap 46, the skies opened and rain poured onto the circuit. The track became dangerously slippery. Joshua's steering suddenly twitched, his tires losing grip. His team gave him a risky order. If he wanted the podium, he had to stay on slicks while others switched to wet tires. Against all odds, Joshua climbed to 2nd place, his engineers guiding him onto the driest racing line they could find. Yet for Sonny, 2nd place was never enough. He dove into the pits for wet tires, determined to turn the tables. Rejoining the track, he once again planted himself in front of Verstappen, blocking every attempt to pass. The engines roared, rain hammered down, and tension reached a boiling point. Using Sonny's slipstream, Joshua caught up and prepared for the ultimate move. Sonny gave him one clear instruction: wait until the final corner. But Joshua's ambition got the better of him. With the gap shrinking rapidly, he attacked early, diving into the corner. His right tire hit a puddle. The car spun out of control, lifted off the ground, and crashed violently into the barriers. Flames erupted as fuel spilled, and in that instant, Sonny's past trauma came flooding back. Without hesitation, he slammed on the brakes, grabbed a fire extinguisher, and rushed into the inferno. Ignoring the searing heat, he pulled Joshua out just in time. Rain mixed with sweat streamed down his face as he screamed for the medics. Though Joshua survived with minor injuries, his mother's fury was unforgiving. She confronted Sonny in the hospital hallway, accusing him of recklessness and demanding he stay away from her son. The weight of her words crushed him, leaving Sonny in silence. To the media, he became the villain, blamed for endangering Joshua, for forcing dangerous strategies, for being a selfish risk-taker. On TV, Joshua watched the chaos unfold. His guilt was unbearable because deep down, he knew the truth. It wasn't Sonny's fault. He had ignored Sonny's warning and tried to overtake too early. As the season continued, the team unveiled upgrades to the car, designed to fight turbulence more effectively. At the Dutch Grand Prix, Sonny called for Plan C, a united front, every driver working together for victory. The room buzzed with energy as the team finally aligned with his vision. Even when penalties pushed him to start from the back, Sonny fought with everything he had, clawing his way up to secure one precious point for the team. It wasn't a podium, but the raw determination electrified the crowd. In Japan, Sonny delivered again. Like an arrow unleashed, he tore through the track, showcasing unmatched precision and fearless control. In the final lap, he fought Russell wheel to wheel, and though he couldn't overtake, his performance secured the team's best finish of the season. 7th place. The stands erupted, fans waving banners with Sonny's name. He had become a phenomenon, a legend reborn. But not everyone was celebrating. Watching from afar, Joshua seethed with jealousy. While he recovered off the track, Sonny was becoming the star. His manager's words only fueled the bitterness, turning Joshua's frustration into burning resentment. By the time the Mexican Grand Prix arrived, tension between the two drivers was reaching a dangerous breaking point. The tension on the track explodes as Verstappen and Leclerc go wheel to wheel. Perez dives in from the outside, trying to force an overtake, but instead collides with Leclerc, throwing the circuit into utter chaos. In that split second of opportunity, Sonny seizes the moment. His car darts out of the cluster, and Verstappen's machine is suddenly within striking distance. With razor-sharp reflexes, Sonny makes his move. At the crucial entry into the corner, he threads the perfect racing line, and with bold precision, overtakes Verstappen head-on. Inside the pit lane, the engineers brace themselves. Judy, once dismissed as the team's weak link, has quietly transformed through trial by fire. As Sonny's car powers out of the pit flawlessly, Judy feels a quiet sense of vindication in his work. Sonny pushes forward, once again shattering the team's record. He comes just one step short of the podium. Watching the team's ranks steadily climb on the leaderboard, Kate's face lights up with pride. None of this would have been possible without Sonny's relentless fight on the track and the unyielding unity of the entire crew. When the race ends, Sonny collapses into a couch, utterly drained. Outside, the roar of the crowd fills the night. They chant his name again and again, but in Sonny's eyes, all he sees are flashes of the racetrack. A faint smile curls on his lips. For him, the glory isn't in the applause or trophies. It's in that fleeting, pure joy of speed, where man and machine become one. Inspired by Sonny's spirit, the team even joins him on his morning runs. The sound of their footsteps in the sunrise carries the strength of newfound unity. From the stands, Joshua watches, his emotions a storm of conflict. When Joshua finally returns to the track, he's welcomed with open arms. Sonny, barely containing his excitement, looks forward to fighting side by side again. But during the Belgian Grand Prix, that unity shatters. At the start, both Sonny and Joshua blast off, quickly charging up to 4th and 5th place. On the Kemmel Straight, Sonny takes the lead, his engine screaming at full throttle. What looks like perfect teamwork suddenly twists into betrayal. Joshua slams forward, clipping Sonny's car. The violent collision spins Sonny out of control, sending him crashing into the gravel with a cloud of smoke and dust. After the race, Sonny storms toward Joshua, furious. He condemns him for his selfishness, but Joshua shrugs it off, cold and dismissive. Sonny warns him. He doesn't care about his career, but if Joshua dares to destroy the team, he'll make him pay dearly. Sensing the growing rift, Kate arranges a meeting to ease the tension. The moment they sit down, sparks fly, anger ready to erupt again. To break the deadlock, Kate pulls out a deck of Sonny's playing cards, suggesting they settle it with a game. Slowly, as the hands play out, the atmosphere softens. By the final round, Sonny makes a surprising choice. He lays down his cards, smiling, conceding not out of weakness, but as a gesture of trust, a passing of the torch. That night, haunted by his old nightmares, Sonny retreats to the rooftop. Kate finds him there. Quietly, he confesses why he came back. Once he dreamed of being the greatest champion in history, but after the accident that stole it all, he realized what he truly craved wasn't trophies or cheers. It was the pure, intoxicating freedom of driving, the feeling of weightless speed in his soul. But then disaster strikes the team. They're accused of using illegal upgrades, forcing them to revert to outdated parts. Sonny tries to stay calm, but the storm brews inside him. Without his lucky card in his pocket, his confidence falters. During the next race, his demons surface. Pushing beyond reason, he spins out, crashing hard. Though he escapes unharmed, Ruben uncovers the harsh truth. Sonny's body should never have returned to racing. He's been hiding his pain, carrying injuries too severe to ignore. Joshua overhears everything. Guilt eats away at Ruben. He regrets ever bringing Sonny back. Determined, he makes the crushing decision to push Sonny out of the team. Joshua, meanwhile, sits in the simulator, replaying the Monza crash again and again. Each time he fails, until he finally follows Sonny's advice. He holds his patience, waits until the last possible corner, and executes the perfect overtake. For the first time, he understands. It was Sonny's lifetime of mistakes, pain, and wisdom that paved the way for his own breakthrough. As Sonny prepares to leave for good, an investor intercepts him, revealing a shocking truth. He was the one who sabotaged the team with the violation report, all to manipulate ownership stakes. He tempts Sonny with a seat in his new team. Sonny doesn't accept, nor does he refuse. He simply takes the card silently, walking away. And so, the story builds to its grand finale in Abu Dhabi. As the desert sun sinks into twilight, Joshua finally admits the truth of his accident to his mother. He reveals that Sonny had been wrongly blamed all along. When called to face the media, he refuses. For once, his focus is not on fame, but on redemption. The film leaves us at the edge of our seats, not just with the roar of engines, but with a deeper truth. Racing is more than speed, more than glory. For Sonny, it's a lifelong journey of passion, pain, and passing on his fire to the next generation. And that wraps up the recap of F1 2025. A film that's as much about speed as it is about heart. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss more epic movie recaps.